lesson. Today is our final lesson of term 2 and it's also our assessment lesson. This is an opportunity for you just to show off everything that you have learned this term. Okay, so remember we have 2 pieces which you can choose between today to be assessed on. We have Little Rock Star, which goes up to the high G, so is slightly higher, and we also have London Bridge is Falling Down, which goes down to the low G, so slightly lower. You can choose between those 2 pieces, and the way the structure of this lesson will work is we'll start together with a good warm-up. We'll then have a look at the assessment grid, which tells us how we have been marked, and then we'll spend a little bit of time on the pieces individually, so you can fast forward that moment in the video just to work on the piece that you are focusing on today. And then of course we'll finish with our assessment. So good luck, concentrate, think about your breathing, and you're going to do really, really well. Okay, Year 7, let's get our trombones together and start our warm-up. Okay, so because today is a special lesson, because it's our assessment lesson, I'm going to make sure that we cover lots of different things in our warm-up today. So, when your trombone is together, just set it aside somewhere out the way. We're going to start with a bit more of a physical warm-up, okay? I want you to start by just rolling your shoulders back 3 times, and then I want you to roll your shoulders forward 3 times. Okay, and then let's lace our hands together and stretch up to the ceiling. Lean gently side to side. Remember, we use our arms a lot when we play the trombone, so let's make sure they're stretched out, ready to play. And then shake it out. Good. Next, take out your mouthpiece. Let's think about our breathing and our buzzing, the 2 beats, okay? We are going to breathe in for 4 beats and buzz out for 4 beats. We did this in lesson number 1, I think, of learning how to play the trombone. Remember, we breathe in through our mouths. We make sure that we think about breathing in down to our belly rather than up here in our throat. We want to be really relaxed. And then we make sure our embouchure is working and we buzz out. So, in for 4. Buzz out for 4. Get yourself prepared. As soon as I start counting, I want you to start breathing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Great. One more time. Think about that breath. Breathe right down to your toes. Here we go. 1, breathe. 2, 3, 4. Whew, fantastic. Pick up your trombones and put your mouthpiece back in. So it wouldn't be a warm-up if we didn't play some lip slurs. So remember, a slur is when we change smoothly between the notes. We're not going to do a lot of these, we're just going to start with our Fs and B flats. Have a listen to me play a lip slur, and then I'd like you to try it. So very simply, I'm going to start on my F. F, B flat, F. I'd like you to give that a go now. Really good, Year 7. You might want to spend a bit more time doing that. Then when you're ready, let's have a go at some tonguing, okay? So we have lots of notes to play today. You want to make sure our tongue is doing the right thing. First of all, I want you to say for me, ta. Great. Think about where your tongue goes in your mouth when you say ta. Ta comes to the top, to the front of your mouth. We are going to use that sound to play a few Fs, okay? So first position F, I want you to copy off me I'm thinking of my tongue creating this sound, releasing out the air. So I'm going to go. Can you do that back for me? Good. How about this rhythm? So we're just focusing on what your tongue is doing, but don't forget to breathe. Have a listen. Try that rhythm for me. Really good. Okay, so we've got our tongue working, we've got our lips buzzing, we've got our air blowing. One last thing to do in our warm-up. Have a look at this slide. So this is our we call this a scale. I've not used that word before, but why not today? This is our scale. It's where we start on one note and we go up in alphabetical order by step. Okay, so this one we played B flat, C, D, E flat and F. Okay, so 5 notes. I'd like us to have a go at that nice and slowly together. So we're going to do 2 clicks on each note. So like this. So you go B, C, D, up like that. So bring your trombones to play position. After 4, let's have a go at these 5 notes. Slides all the way in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really good, fantastic. Okay, so we've done all those warm-ups. We've swapped it around. We've done different ones throughout this whole term. You might feel like you want to go over one of them more than another. You might want to do a bit more buzzing, or you might want to try a few more lip slurs, or practice those scales a little bit more. So anything that I've not done enough of, I want you to do that now. And then we're going to have a look at our assessment grid. Okay, let's revisit the assessment sheet that we had last term, which had, you can see djembe jam, fanfare, we would put snakes and ladders on there, and When the Saints, and of course we have our 2 assessment pieces for today, which are London Bridge and Little Rockstar. Now, I've put Little Rockstar as B4 in our categories, which means the difficulty level is slightly harder, but don't worry too much about that. It's only because it has 6 notes to read, whereas London Bridge has five notes to read. So let's remind ourselves about what these little sections mean. We have accuracy, interpretation, and technique. So accuracy, are we playing the right notes and rhythms? So things like, are we playing our notes that are long enough? So if you've got a 2-beat note, are you hanging on to that? That might be a thing in London Bridge. Or in Little Rockstar, are we making sure that we're not playing in our rests, in our moos, where we've got silence, okay? So that's part of it, the rhythm. And then also the right pitch. So obviously we know it's really easy on trombone to accidentally play a wrong note, even when your slide's in the right position. So particularly, for example, in Little Rockstar, you want to really be aiming to get the difference between the B flat and the F in the first bar, and then really aiming for that G in 4th position. And then same with London Bridge, controlling those lower notes. So that's our accuracy, and I want you to aim for mostly or pretty accurate. That's what we want. Okay, so interpretation. Now this is exciting because we can actually do that this time. We have dynamics, don't we? Our articulation, that's how we're using our tongue, which is really important. In both these pieces, we've got to think of that tar sound. But dynamics, we have, I guess there's a little bit more going on in London Bridge, where we have our fortes and pianos. Little Rockstar, we just got to maintain forte throughout. And then fluency, That means, like, are we able to play from the beginning to end without any major interruptions? So does it flow? That's all we want for that one. And then lastly, technique, tone, embouchure, posture. These are words, especially posture and embouchure, that we've spoke about a lot. So making sure we are controlling our face. No hamster faces, no droopy shoulders. With our posture, we want to be sat up nice and straight. And then tone, so that's our sound, like the tone of someone's voice. And to make a good tone on the trombone, you have to breathe well. So that's probably going to be the theme of today, breathing, making sure we take really good breaths because it makes our sound, our tone better. So you can see if we managed, we've got a total of 15 point marks for London Bridge and 18 for Little Rock Star. And I hope you all do really well and manage to get mostly or excellent or good in these categories. But good luck, Year 7. We're going to move on now to do a little bit of work on both our pieces. Okay, so if you've picked London Bridge, you're in the right place because we're going to work on this a little bit now before we do our assessment. So I've made a list of things that I think are difficult about this piece, and I want to get you thinking about. Some of these things are to do with our playing all the time. So things like breathing, things like having a good posture, okay? They're all going to help our playing. They help it whatever we're doing, but I want you to really think about that as it's our assessment week. But yeah, some of them are just things that we need to know that are specific for London Bridge. So let's work on a few bits and then we'll practice playing it through. Okay, so some of the things I have mentioned are things like slide control and tonguing. Okay, so making sure that we're not blowing our notes like if you feel like you're doing something that sounds like that, I want you to start to experiment with that tongue a little bit more in this rehearsal. Ta, ta, ta. How about we play that first bar, C, D, C, B, and we're just going to think about our tonguing the first time, okay? After 4, so bring your slide up to 6th. Ta, ta. Think about those notes being nice and clear. Ta, 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 ta. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Let's do it one more time. Remember to breathe on 4, and I might go a little bit quicker. At that speed. After 4, back to 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. So get thinking about that tongue throughout the whole of London Bridge, okay? Okay, so secondly, the slide control element. This piece of music, it uses lots of 6th position, lots of 4th position, and that just means we are working a bit harder, I think, to control the notes that are further away. So let's find a bar where we have to do lots of movement. Probably the one we just played is a good example, actually. What about the last 2 bars where we have 4th, 6th, and then 2nd? Because we've got our 2 newest notes, haven't we? Our low G, C, and then our new note A as well. So I want you to just have a go at playing them nice and slowly. You don't have to do it with me. I'll give you a moment to do it. But looking at your slides, so you're looking, checking, you're in 4th. Then in 6th. And then in 2nd. Just take a bit of care now to have a look at those 3 notes. Good. And those notes that we just played, they also happen to be quite low notes, don't they? So remember, with the low notes, we don't want to lose complete control of our embouchure. So we get these like really low sounding notes. You need to actually keep this bit really firm to make a nice sound, okay? You could even experiment with just what happens if I do loosen my embouchure, and you'll hear it will drop down. Make sure it's not dropped, and we're just keeping really good control of those low notes. Okay, so the next thing that I've written down, I think is maybe a little bit challenging about this piece, is the fact that it has quite a few long notes, so our 2-beat notes. And I want to really challenge you to make sure that they are definitely 2 beats long. If we cut them short, we could lose a few points because we're not playing the right rhythm. Yeah, the rhythm is 2 beats. So how about we try, how about the bars 3 and 4 where we have ta, ta, 2, ta, ta, 2. Yeah, let's try those 2 bars, okay? And focus on that 2-beat note being long right to the end, okay? So we start on G, we're going G, A, B, and then A, B, C. Let's have a go. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really good. I just in my head I'm counting 1, 2, 1, 2 when I play those long notes. Good. Next, breathing. So in this piece, I said breathing, it's important in everything we do on trombone, but this piece is a bit of a challenge because it doesn't have any rests or like our mars or moosing, which really give us space and time to breathe. So I would suggest at least every 2 bars that we snatch a little bit of a breath. And you still have to do that with the trombone at your mouth. You don't breathe in through the trombone, but you don't find an alternative, like you don't bring the trombone away, you don't breathe through your nose. Watch me do the first 2 bars and go into the next one. So I'll breathe like... Sorry. Okay, so I'm just cutting off my note, just the tiniest bit. It's still nice and long, but I'm cutting it off enough to take a breath through my mouth, yeah? Okay, we've nearly got through my list of things that are tricky. Last one, just the change between the 4th line and the 5th line, sorry, the 5th bar. They're the same note, right? Land on a C, and then your next note is a C as well. So don't let that take you by surprise, because you don't have to move your slide, do you? You play that long 2-beat C, and then you've got another C. If you remember that, I think you'll save yourself making a mistake. Okay, so the last thing is the dynamics. So you will get marked on these, yeah? So do your best to remember, especially, I guess, what would be nice to hear are those 2 quiet bars in the middle, yeah? And keeping your opening and your ending nice and loud. But there, I think we've talked through all the particularly tricky bits, both technically and then just reading as well, reading-wise. They're the tricky bits of this piece. What we're going to do now is listen through and try it with the backing track. We'll do listen through twice because it's quite quick. First time we could just mime, second time we'll play, okay? So bring your slides up to your chins, up to play position, slides in 6th. Let's give it a go. Remember, it's a quick start. So be ready? Here we go. 2, 3, 4. C, A, B, C, G, A, B, A, B, C, C, D, C, B, A, B, C, G, C, A. Whoa, it's so quick. Well done for keeping up. Right, we'll try it. We'll have our first practice, and then it's over to our assessment. Let's try it. Here we go. Play position, slide back out to 6th. Remember to breathe. Remember a good posture. And then here we go. 2, 3, 4. Now quiet. Stay in 6th. Nice and loud. Great. Super. So hopefully you're feeling really ready for your assessment. Good job, Year 7. Welcome back to Little Rockstar, Year 7. It has been a few weeks, so we're just going to have a little recap, revisit it. I've made a list of things that I think are difficult about this piece, things that I think we need to practice before we do our assessment. So we're just going to go through a few of them. We'll also try playing it through the backing track. Okay, so some of these things are stuff that we need to do in all our pieces, such as having a really good posture. So either sitting or standing in a way that's going to make our trombone playing even better. And then breathing, okay? Remembering that breathing is a very, very important thing to do in brass playing. So in this piece of music, obviously we need to breathe before we start. So 1, 2, 3, breathe. Yeah? But we've also got these 2-beat rest, our moos, which are the perfect place to take a breath. So look out for them, okay? Before we even play anything, I want you to be thinking about that. Now, we have got a lot of notes, some higher notes to work on, some tricky rhythms. We're going to start with the very first bar. The first thing I want you to practice is that moment where we play 4 notes without moving our slide. So we go. Okay, all in first position. Play that bar for me when you're ready. Great, so I'm really looking for 2 different sounds. If your F isn't coming out high enough, I want you to think about your embouchure, make sure you're blowing fast, but also make sure you're using your tongue to help that air be released down the trombone, okay? Try it one more time. Great, so it'd be lovely to have a strong opening with those 4 notes. Now, the next thing I think is tricky is the rhythm in the second bar. Remember, it goes like this. Ti-ta, ti, or spaghetti. So let's try that rhythm. We play it once on G, G, F, and then once on C, C, B. Okay, let's try bar 2. We'll try it on the G. Okay, so G, G, F. After 4 with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, let's try it on C, C, B. And watch out for that big movement with your slide there. So that's in bar 4, or the very last bar of the piece as well. C, C, B. Let's have a go at that. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Make sure that slide moves really, really quickly. Okay, so we've got that rhythm, we've got the moment where we don't move our slide. Next, the G itself. Let's just think about what we need to do to make sure that G comes out. So our embouchure is working hard. Our lips are buzzing together so that we're making a really nice high sound, okay? Just try playing a few G's on their own, as this is quite a new note and we haven't played it for a few weeks. So have a few go at playing G. G. Great. And then let's put that into context. So we'll do the very first 2 bars. B, B, F, F, G, G, F. Okay, here we go after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Okay, so next, note lengths. Now this piece doesn't have any long notes in it, does it really? We have only, the longest note we have is a 1-beat note. So it's actually important in this piece that we make sure we don't hang on to any notes longer than we should be, especially when we have the rests, the moos, at the ends of the bars. So I don't want you to play to make sure that you use your tongue and it's nice and short. Okay. Next, let's have a look. What else am I missing? This is another point. Remember, the end of the first line, going into the second line, you stay in first position. So we've just gone down. Stay in first. Okay, that's a moment to remember because it's really easy. As soon as you see a new note, we think, quick, move. And actually in this case, we don't have to. So watch out for that bar. Let's have a look at that second line. So this is where we're descending. We're going down in step. F, F, E, E, D, D, C. I think this line, it's worth just practicing for a bit of slide control, okay? So we're making sure that we're actually getting to the right position. So maybe you want to just have a go at those two bars, just a little bit slower. We can do it together and then you can pause and try it on your own if you would need. So we're going a bit slower. After 4, this is bars 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, so you might want to do that one more time, just looking at your slide, making sure, am I actually in third position or have I stopped in second, you know? Things like that. Just look at your slide. Is your C stretched out? That's another one. I think we've covered most of the tricky things now in my list. Yeah. The only thing I've not said is about the forte sign. So this is a loud piece of music and that's something you will be assessed on. That's part of it, isn't it? So making sure that you play this in a nice loud manner will get you more points, more marks, sorry. To play loudly, we've got to breathe really well. So I keep going on about breathing, but it is the most important thing when it comes to playing a brass instrument. Okay, so I think we've covered everything we need to regarding this piece. So what we're going to do now is try it with the backing track. The first time, if you want to, let's just say it in mime. If you feel prepared, you might like to just take this time to practice playing it along. It goes around 3 times, so I'm going to do it in this order. I'm going to mime the first time, play the second time, and the last time I'm just not going to do anything. I want you to have a go without any distractions, okay? So let's think about our posture. Staying relaxed. Bring your trombones up to play position. You're welcome to mime along with me for the first go. And then off we go. So you are going to play at least 2 times. You might mime the first time, that's fine. But when I stop playing, don't you stop playing. That's your chance to practice by yourself. Okay, here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. B, B, F, F, G, G, F. E, E, D, D, C, C, B. F, F, E, E, D, D, C. F, F, E, E, D, D, C. B, B, F, F, G, G, F. E, E, D, D, C, C, B. Let's play it this time. Here we go after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. On your own this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third position. Stay in first. Rest position, Year 7. Put your slide locks on. Really good work on that. You'll be doing your assessment on Little Rockstar in a moment. Okay, Year 7s, it is now time for your assessment on London Bridge is Falling Down. You've done lots of really good work on this, so well done already. Just give it your best shot. I'm not going to play along. You will be able to hear on the track the trombone, but I'm not going to give you any other prompts. This is your moment to shine. So my last bit of advice though is make sure you're either stood or sat in a really good way with a good posture, and make sure your slide is out in 6th for C before we start. So play position. There are 4 clicks and then you're off. Here we go. Well done, Year 7, over in a flash. Congratulations. Okay, Year 7s, it is now time for your assessment performance of Little Rockstar. So I'm not going to play along this time. It's over to you, but you've done so much practice and work on this. I think it's going to sound great. So good luck. Get yourself in a really good playing position. So with a good posture, either sat or stood, and get your slide ready, unlocked in 1st position. This track goes around 3 times. You only need to be assessed on it once, but I'll let the track run, okay? You might like to do it more than once. So here we go. Play position. I'll count you in. Remember to breathe. And here we go. 2, Congratulations, Year 7. Well done. That was your assessment. Congratulations, Year 7. You just completed your Term 2 assessment on the trombone. Wow, that's really, really good. These are hard instruments and I have really challenged you. I've given you some really difficult pieces to do this term. So you should be really proud of yourselves. I'm proud of you. I wish I could have heard you all today. But don't forget to keep playing, keep practicing. Term 3 is not far away. Really well done, Year 7. Let's pack away our trombones safely, and it is goodbye for now.